Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at something really special. Kyle Stowers had a 3 home run game recently, but we're not just watching the bombs for fun. I want to show you a key part of his swing that every hitter can learn from, a firm front leg to swing into. Let's walk through all 3 of these swings and break down what's going on. There's a lot to love about Stowers' swing on this day. We're going to watch his stride mainly, but there's a lot of things to look at. So one, we starts his load at the break of the pitcher, right? We see those shoulders start to coil. We see that leg start to come up, and then we see him coil around that back foot and swings on landing. All right. So a few things to note about this pitch is that this is not a fastball. But do we think Stowers is ready to hit a fastball here if it were to be coming in at 90 plus? I would say 100%. At release of the pitch, we are at a position where we could choose to swing our foot down and release our barrel on time. But we don't get that pitch. We get an off-speed pitch. So what does he do? He waits back longer on that front leg, recognizes spin, and lets that barrel continue to go to that ball. If he's thinking straight, pull this fastball, he's going to miss it, right? But he's not thinking that. He's thinking through that baseball the whole time. Watching that front leg, if he's timed up for fastball, why is his foot not down early? It's because he is choosing when to swing by balancing and holding posture on that back leg. Here's another good angle of the home run. Watch his hands and his front leg work as counterbalances for each other. He's able to stay locked in this tall, powerful posture by letting his hands and front leg work together to keep him balanced into that front middle of his foot. And then as he's caught out front on this outside pitch, he doesn't let his front side collapse forward. He sticks it in the ground and rotates around that solid front leg. It's not locked out straight, but it's firm. Does that make sense? It's a straight front leg, strong enough to send his hips back, but it's not weak enough where he's coasting forward, where he might end up fouling that ball back. He's able to stay back and let that pitch do all the work for him.
And Stowers against his old team. Look at the smile.
The second home run that Stowers hit today is, again, just an absolute clinic on how to hit off speed. He's ready at release for anything. So now at this point, what is he trying to recognize? He's trying to recognize spin and location, right? Because he doesn't have to worry about his load anymore. He's in a position that he can swing from. But as we see this pitch, he sees it pop out of his hand, right? High, spinning, hanging curveball. He's licking his lips, waiting for this pitch to just come right into his wheelhouse. Uses all the momentum of that downward move from that ball and lets it do all the work bouncing off of his barrel. Here's another great angle. I want us to look at his front hip and his belt, right? Watch how his front leg straightening is working to get his belt through that zone. Before that barrel ever enters anywhere close to that ball, he is turning his belt, turning his back leg, and squaring his hips to the pitcher. This allows for his hips to accelerate his top half, and when his top half accelerates, his barrel is able to accelerate. Again, just another view, watching his front leg plant into the ground, and then that is his cue to kick that foot down, and using the pressure and the tension that we built in our load to unload into this baseball.
Kyle Stowers! He hit one in the second. He hits number 18 here in the third.
This third swing might be my favorite just because it shows everything that Stowers was looking for, right? We get his leg up, starts his break, we get our shoulders around, foot is in the air comfortably for a long time. We get that at release. Could he swing from here? The answer is yes. He's a pro hitter. Of course he could swing from here. But now his job is to pick up spin and location. At this point, we are recognizing that we are getting a ball inside, probably a fastball. So that's what he executes for. Watching again, him striking that front heel into the ground, starting the entire reaction that moves up the chain. We get that front leg to straighten out. It clears our front hip, making room for our back hip. And when our back hip clears, our hands now have the green light to work through that baseball. Here's another really good angle, just zoomed in, watching that front heel strike the ground, and that entire movement works up the chain and unwinding our barrel. Starting with our knee breaking, our hips turning, our core unwinding, and then our barrel working off of our back shoulder, making that baseball launch off into right field.
On the season for Stowers, who swings and he lifts one. Stowers with his third of the afternoon.
So how can we get our front leg to match what we saw in those previous videos? Well, to start, what I would have you guys do, hands on our shoulders, finding the pitcher. I want to start in this equal stance where my weight is balanced between my back leg and my front leg. What I have is my foot open, pointed to the second baseman, but my feet are lined up to the pitcher, right? And from here, I just want us to practice this load and turn. Load and turn. The key here is that my back leg is turning down while my front leg is straightening. So doing this just before our tee work is a really good way to cue our nervous system to operate how we want it to. Once we've warmed up our legs and we know that our back leg turns and our front leg straightens at the same time, we can move on to the tee. So what we can do is similar to the no stride that we had with our hands on our shoulders, we're going to do the no stride with our feet and a barrel in our hand. All right, so we're going to start with our feet lined up to the pitcher, front foot pointed to like the second baseman. And from here, all I'm working on is just loading the top half and then swinging my bottom. Yes, there's a ball in front of me, but I'm trying to hit that ball with my legs more so than my hands. I want my barrel to unwind behind me, and in order to do that, I got to make sure that my legs go first, my core is tight, it goes, then my shoulders, and then my barrel unwinds behind me.